Hello and welcome along to another Where's My Kit Bag podcast hosted by your three lovely media technicians of the Sixth Form College Farnborough. It's me, James.
It's me, Steve.
It's me, Carolina.
And we have a special guest in the studio. Special guest. Announce yourself.
It's me, Jane. Hello.
Jane Thomas, the Queen of Christmas, has joined us. Insert Christmas noises. There it is. Nice. Jingling bells.
Props to the ho 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 on the intro.
Nice.
As well.
I was trying to fit the jingle bells in, but I thought the ho 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 just fit that a little bit better.
I particularly enjoyed your facial expression when the ho 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 kicked in because you were so proud.
I was very happy. I timed that to a T.
Nice.
But yes, how are we, team? How is life?
Well, as of recording, it's the last time the students are in for the year of 2021, which is an interesting thought. But it's been a good term, I think.
Busy term.
Yes.
Very busy term.
Understatement, but yeah. But good.
But you know what? I'm glad we're at a Christmas break. To me, it doesn't feel like Christmas, but I'm glad it's a Christmas break. But I don't know why.
Why does it not feel like Christmas? Is my tinsel in my hair not enough?
No, I mean, your tinsel in your hair and Lauren's tinsel round her boots.
Yeah, who saw Lauren's amazing outfit today? Seriously.
The red cowboy hat. Interesting festive choice, not going to lie. Did make her feel a bit like Jessie the cowgirl, but from Toy Story.
Also, secret here, there was line dancing in the office today.
Oh Lord above.
She led some line dancing. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just leaving that there. Leave it up to your imagination.
Was she dancing to steps? 5, 6, 7, 8 by any chance? Because that would be funny. I don't know. Maybe it's the whole COVID. COVID's putting a bit of a dampener on the whole Christmas cheer it and spear. Cheer it and spear?
The festive season is what you make it.
Spirit and cheer. There we go. Huh?
The festive season is what you make it.
True.
You can make your little sanctuary as Christmassy as you like.
Yeah.
COVID can stay at the door.
COVID be damned.
Yeah. I've got no Christmas decorations up this year because I'm moving house during the festive period.
But
it feels Christmassy, you know? Why not? It's all about the music that you play into the room.
Nice. I mean, is that a cue to play some Christmas-based backing music, which may or may not be rock? This is quite sad.
Oh no.
Well,
there you go.
Oh, here's my Christmas cheer in a song.
Is it as sad as Do They Know It's Christmas? Which should not be on any Christmas albums.
No, you're very true. Do They Know It's Christmas is not a Christmas song. I'm going to get rid of that. That's really depressing. I was surprised how bad that was. Apologies. Anyway, shall we do some features?
Sure.
Shall we do a little bit of department news with ye oldie Steve Cale?
Nice.
I thought I'd add some
big old
Christmas.
Christmasness. It's interesting that you pass it my way because I actually haven't been looking after the newsletter for the last couple of weeks. Somebody else has because I've been very, very busy with F6 productions and other things.
Let's bounce it to Carolina then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I going to have to do like the whole run through the...
Yeah, just pick out the highlights. Pick out the highlights.
What to say? So,
what's the feature this week?
So the film is Being the Ricardos, and that's about like the couple from I Love Lucy, the actors, not the fictional ones. But yes, I think it's quite old Hollywood kind of thing, so it's appropriate, and it came out last week, so you can go watch it in the cinema. I haven't seen it, but it looks cool. What else? The YouTube feature, it's I stole it from the newsletter from last year.
It is one of those situations where we realized in like 2018 that we only watch about 30 to 40 different YouTubers worth suggesting as a department. So when you get nearly a few hundred editions in, you do start to look at last year, because if it worked last year, it's a different cohort of students that can be...
You'll never know.
Exactly. That's why TechNet is
They
always
know
the
now,
first one.
but before they didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but this one is they do like VFX things. I haven't really checked it out. I suppose they do tutorials. Do you know?
Yeah, they do tutorials, do walkthroughs,
challenges, battles,
yeah, all sorts of stuff. Camera reviews. Yeah, always good reviews.
Oh, reviews.
Probably good for C-Tech students now.
Absolutely.
Oh, very much
Corridor
so.
Crew, great.
Yeah.
And former technician Will, his partner, works for Corridor Crew. Would you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very true.
There you
go. What else? We have a Christmas message from Dan. What else? Podcast. We don't actually have the podcast from last week because we didn't have a podcast last week.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry. I was ill.
But still, there's a link. And the next page, please.
Apologies.
What else? Industry news, the usual, and then TechNet Spotlight. We have our first winner.
Oh my god! Yes,
Yes.
that's fantastic news. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
Correct sound.
yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
there you go. Have some crowd applause and cheer.
Well done, Mr. Bill.
Somebody put a show reel on their Instagram page,
Yes.
and it's won the first TechNet Spotlight of the year. And which means, because there is only this month and the months leading up to May, there are 6 slots which guarantee you a shortlist to the Media and Film Awards at the end of the academic year, which has never happened before, where you can actually guarantee your place. Because in years past, when TechNet Spotlight used to be called TechNet Choice, we did 1 a week, so it was a lot more. But this time we're doing 1 a month, and because it's a bit of a slow burner and only started in December, that means there's 6 possible winners leading up to the awards. So if you want to guarantee that your name
An
will appear
award
on,
nomination.
then get posting.
Get on it.
It's cool.
Post
It
snippets
is
of your
cool.
course,work. Not the whole thing,
Yeah.
just snippets.
Yeah. Or if
If
you've
you
just
want.
gone out and taken a photo of your dog catching a tennis ball, which did win one a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Which was cool because it was a slow-mo like thing when they were like jumping and grabbing this like tennis ball, and you could see all like the water coming off the fur of the dog, and it looked awesome. That still counts, and it actually won. So submit stuff.
Yeah.
You can tell I want people to submit stuff because it's cool.
It's
Yes.
nice to see what you are all doing when you're not doing coursework and we're
Yeah.
not all going, do this, do that. It's nice to see what you guys do in your own time as well, because you're all creative, so we love to see it.
It's nice as well because we've had students in the past who let's use Addison Rothwell from a year or 2 years ago. He was really into his like motocross and his like mountain biking stuff, but it was only through his extracurricular stuff that we actually learned about those things, which was cool. And it was another dimension where if anything ever came up work experience wise that was in that little world, you can be top of the list of people that we can throw it at. So yeah.
Can I just add on from what I've just noticed you've put on the old industry news? The Sonic the Hedgehog 2 trailer for the film looks great.
It does.
Just saying.
Well,
Looks
how can they
great.
go wrong with Idris Elba? That's all I'm saying.
True. Idris Elba is Knuckles.
It's
That's all
like
you need to know.
literally
It's my
the
childhood.
postmodern dream.
It's my childhood in a film that
The
was a
first
game.
one was really good.
Yeah.
I watched it on Netflix the other day
It's
again.
really
I
good.
enjoyed it too.
This is good.
That
Did we
and
go and see it in
Pikachu
cinema?
Detective.
Yes, we did.
Were really good films.
That one
Yeah.
I need to see, but it's just
You've not seen Detective Pikachu
it's
yet?
one that Jade's
Oh,
not all
Steve.
that into Pokemon, so it's, I need to find a time
Jade,
to
get
watch
in the
it on my own
bin.
time. Yeah.
Go and pack some boxes. Let Steve.
Oh my
let's
god.
go and pack some
Oh,
boxes.
she's got
Let
anything
Steve
else
go
to worry
watch-
about at the minute, and
Yeah,
you
she's
just sit and watch films.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's the right way around.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really good trailer. Would recommend. Yes, I just thought
Yes.
I'd add that in there. But yeah, otherwise, just find the newsletter in your email inbox.
Absolutely.
Then you can see all the other previous ones on the old TechNet page. If you want to catch up on some old editions.
And if you want to see how to use TechNet Spotlight, jump on the newsletter and there is a full description of how to enter. And even if you were to see this or hear this and go, oh, I'm going to submit, even if you submit now as of hearing this and it's January, you could win the March or April edition. You never know. You're entered for every single month, which is cool.
Yes,
So there you go.
very true. Nice. I think that's good department news.
I agree.
Nice. Otherwise, everyone's got loads of deadlines coming up. Film's deadline was today.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was such
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
in the department today with the deadlines. I was so impressed with the students.
Yeah.
We just kept going and going. They've had such a tough year. You've done really well, guys. Honestly,
It is one of those ones, isn't it? With COVID in the last 18 months, it would be completely understandable for the quality to drop a little bit. But each and every year it goes up that little bit more, and this year is no different. Some of the films from Film Studies, haven't seen some of the vlogs and stuff, but from Film Studies perspective, some of them are absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for them to be marked so that I can go get them in festivals, because they are going to not just get nominated, they're going to be successful, which is very, very cool.
And
So-
thinking like so many students doing their film projects have been affected with actors getting COVID and or having to self-isolate, stuff like that. It's just been amazing.
Yeah.
That every year, like you say, Steve, the quality, we're just like, surely that can't get any better. And much as we love our department, we're all very familiar with our lovely technical issues that we have, and bearing that in mind as well, to get stuff done with all that going on and all the departments having deadlines, it's amazing, really impressive.
In the nicest way possible, I'm not looking forward to the short film category for the awards.
It's going to be
because there are
hard.
some bangers. I don't know
Of
which
all
one.
of the films I've seen, I've gone, well, that could win.
Yeah,
Well, that could win.
yeah.
That could win.
in every class as well.
That could win.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool.
Our job, come whenever it is, like May, it's going to be borderline impossible.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. It's going to be great. We'll just have to do rock, paper, scissors. Go full Seb Beatty.
So ask Siri to pick number between 1 and 6.
Coin flip. Oh, it's 1. All right, you win. So otherwise, as always, you can always email us your technical woes at technet@farnborough.ac.uk. Don't know how quick we'll reply over the Christmas break. I'd probably say very slim.
48 to 72 hours and probably a maximum. They
Yeah.
occasionally pop up on my phone.
Yeah. If it's urgent, like something's on fire or breaking, then do let us know. If it's just, how do I film good, then no. Look at our
Direct
technical
yourself
videos.
to the YouTube page.
Yes. Please, this way. Shall we do a little bit of Tunes of the Week, team?
Sure.
Yes, do it.
Santa's coming to town.
Nice. I feel like you used that one a little early though.
Yeah. I did. I feel like I should have used Christmas list. I should have used classic Christmas list.
The Christmas playlist.
Christmas playlist. Oh, crikey. Now, Steve, you added one to the old festive tunes of the week that aren't festive.
Yeah, it's not festive at all.
No, because we don't want to age the playlist or season it in any way.
But this is an interesting story between you and I, James, because
Yes.
I was like, my friend on the weekend, I was just playing some Rocket League with him, and he was like, my friend showed me this song. I was like, okay. And Spotify has this cool feature where, like, if you're playing video games together, if you click on their profile, you can listen along. So we do that all the time. So anyway, he played it, and it was actually amazing. So I was like, this is a Bale tune. It's like, it's dancey, but it's very it's retro, like dance electronic music. And I was reading the comments. People were saying, I don't know much about music, electronic music, and how it's created, but they were saying it's done with the simplest of chords, but it's a beautiful piece of music. Anyway, I showed it to you, and you're like, I recognise that artist. And turns out that you'd saved a song of the same artist 14 years prior that is a completely different genre.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, so the artist is called Caribou, and the song's called Never Come Back. And if you like your Swedish House Mafia meets Disclosure, I think you'd go with that kind of vibe. You'll really enjoy the song. It's so good. It's a very good summer road trip song. Annoyingly in the winter, but there you go.
Winter road trip.
But yeah, it's a really, really good song. I've had it on the repeat every morning on my way to work. And so good, I'll be driving along and it's about to end. I'll just literally out loud in my car go rewind and press it again. It will just start again,
Nice.
which is
That's
quite
so
good.
nice.
But yeah, it's lovely little tune. So check it out.
Yeah.
I had to suggest it because it's very much up your street.
Yeah, because I was when you said that artist, I was just like, I know this name. Why do I know this name? And then went down this rabbit hole to find this artist album I had on like some MP3 album I got with a CD on a magazine attached to something back in 2007, and went, oh, is this the same guy?
Yeah.
Because the two genres are so different.
It's like the Tame Impala style,
Yeah.
alternative indie rock music
Yeah.
of sorts is what the 2007 stuff
Yeah.
was, and then this is completely different.
That's like when Maroon 5 did that, though. I mean, that was a while ago, but that was weird. Like, they went from being like a sort of out there indie band to like rock gods. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
But it works.
Yes.
Both songs are actually really good.
Yeah.
14 years
Nice.
apart.
So that's the first one. The second one, which is one I'm adding, which is by Lauran Hibberd. Lauran, but with an extra A at the end. And it's a song called Charlie's Car. I don't know who Charlie is, where his car is, or where it's going. But this song is like, imagine Paramore, but not as punky. Still got really good rock chords, really good progression through. Starts off slow, but then has a really nice big rock crescendo near the end. Really nice song. As soon as I heard it, I went, yes, please. Who is this? Shazam away. Because I was listening to the radio, and I went, what is this? Shazam, thank you. And yeah, I just went, well, save immediately. And yeah, I've similar thing to Steve. I've pretty much listened to it at least once every single day since I heard it last week. So those two tracks will be added to Ye Olde Spotify playlist, which of course you can find on Spotify, no doubt, who'd have thought. And of course the link will be in the description as usual, and you can listen to all the other tracks of the week suggested by all of us since then. Nice. Right, now the biggest feature of the day,
The main event.
the main event, is a cheeky little bit of what have we been watching.
Ho, ho, ho.
Nice.
The echoey ho ho ho's are great.
You look so pleased every time.
So, who would like to kick us off with the generic what films and TV shows we've been watching, and then we'll progress to the Christmas special noises of festive films.
Nice. Well, you're top of the list.
I mean, I can be top of the list. Superstore's back on Netflix. Came out yesterday.
Isn't it the ITV or Sky series that never made it to Netflix? Or
Yes,
is it
it's
the newer
season
one?
6.
Okay.
So whatever season, because Netflix went up to season 5.
Yeah.
And then that's
Sky
where I watched
had
up
season
to
6.
Yeah, I think Sky had
Yeah.
6, but I didn't have that Sky package at the time, so I couldn't get it.
Because we've seen that. Me and Jane have seen that season.
The
It's very
COVID,
good.
the COVID season.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so I've only seen episode 1 so far when it came out yesterday. I was just like, ooh, watch. And it's quite good how they approach COVID as a thing, and obviously seeing it from the retail perspective, quite similar to us as staff. Obviously seeing it at college, where I'd almost say our product is learning, it's quite good how the characters are like approaching it in different ways. And yeah, it's quite good so far. Obviously, I've only seen 1 episode, but it's Superstore. I used to hate it, now I adore it. So, yes, convert
It's a slow
for
burn,
me.
a Superstar, isn't it? I think
It
a lot
is.
of people took more than once to watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it was a nice replacement after I grieved for the end of Schitt's Creek, and
forward to
then
that day.
discovered Superstore. So yeah,
It reminds me a
awesome.
lot of my Curry's days. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you've worked in
Yeah.
retail, there's an extra layer to the humour, definitely.
There's also my old manager was called Glenn.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he as mental as Glenn in Superstore?
He had a very strange voice, did my old, hello, I'm Glenn. That was genuinely was his voice.
Wow.
It was very, very odd. But he was a very odd man. He didn't really manage very well. Much like Superstar.
So Glenn, yeah.
So yeah, I very much felt that connection with him. So that's the main TV show I've been watching. Finally got around to watching the new Dune. Managed to buy a copy of it on, I think it was Amazon or Sky, whichever one it was. Yes. Very Fellowship of the Ring vibes.
Yeah.
Big story set up. I thought the sound design was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought the visuals were incredible. I don't know why they're plugging Zendaya so much when she's like in about like the
Yeah.
minutest part of the film.
Yeah.
But I feel obviously her character development's going to come in the next part, I presume. If it doesn't, then I'll be like, where are you going with this? Obviously, I haven't seen the original Dune, so I've got nothing ready to compare it against. But I saw the original Dunes on Netflix, if you do want to watch it, the 80s, 90s version. But I did kind of catch the sort of trailer highlight thing, you know, where Netflix just plays you random excerpts of the thing. And their shields, back in the 80s version, where they just turn into, like, transparent cuboids. Very strange. So I very much feel the VFX and special effects has very much gone up in budget and power. But no, I feel Fellowship of the Ring, I think, would be the best comparison, but in the Star Wars universe, almost.
But the reason for that is because that's the novel.
Exactly.
And they say it's an impossible novel to film, which is what they said about Lord of the Rings till Jackson split it up like he did and made it possible. I've got a real soft spot for the original. And you're right, obviously effects can't possibly compare to what can be done now. But
it's the endearing story that carries through.
Oh my God, it is so beautiful to look at. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. And I think capturing the novel is so difficult. Hats off to anyone who tries to do it, I think.
I definitely enjoyed it as a visual spectacle, but I'm intrigued where the story is going in whenever part 2 or section 2 or whatever comes out. But I think overall, I'd probably definitely give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I think it just as a visual kind of, that's a very large spaceship. That's very well made. Yes. And then just it makes everything sound grand and makes it sound big, which I really like. Whereas if you've got like a big spaceship and it's just going, you're just like, no. That would not make that sound. That makes no sense. Whereas this one was like huge booms, massive. It just felt big. I felt like I was being dwarfed by something, which I really liked. The other one that I saw, which I watched the other day, was a film on Netflix called Kate. It's basically the story of this kind of assassin lady who's been kind of trained in this assassin world, but then she gets poisoned, and then it's her quest to try and find who poisoned her to, act her revenge. So it felt very John Wick-esque, but obviously with a female lead instead of a male lead. But like I was telling you, Steve, the other day, it felt both big budget, but also really low budget at times. It kind of, there are elements that I felt really a bit kind of janky to watch, where there were a bit like some weird cuts, some bit weird edits, but then other bits which look really, really smooth and clean and just really kind of push the story forward. But it's a really good film to watch. I feel the lead does a good job, kind of having this vendetta against whoever's poisoned her.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Is it with the little girl in it as well? Oh, is that a different one? Is she an assassin? She's an assassin, and
it's set in Japan.
Yeah, and the girl with her,
she's got braces. Yeah.
She kidnaps.
Oh yeah. No, she kidnaps her and then sticks her in the toilet.
Film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and
like you say,
it's got
that mix.
Yeah, it's got a weird mix of things where I just like, well, you probably could have cut that a little bit here and there, but it all kind of works and gives that kind of chaotic look. And also the visuals of Japan just look great anyway, because it's mainly set at night.
And really good twist as well. And as you know, I love to predict a twist, and I did not predict the twist.
Oh.
So that's a high rating from a Thomas. Thomas can't predict the twist.
Like I've been giving students, the Bale thumbs up is like kind of the Hollywood handshake in the edit suite. Just, yes, it's good. But no, I would definitely recommend giving it a whirl. If you like John Wick and you like that kind of stuff, like vendetta style film almost, definitely give it a whirl. It's on Netflix at the moment. What would I give it out of 10? No, I'd probably give it an 8. The only thing that would kind of like it's dropped it down for me is the kind of weird, some of the weird where it feels really low budget at times, or just almost felt like the frame rate was a bit off, almost. But no, that's just me.
To be fair, that could be Netflix. Let's face it.
It could be Netflix. Let's give it a 9 then. Give it a better benefit of the doubt mark. Tick. But yeah, that's my lot. Nice. Who wants to go next?
I guess I'm next on the list. So I'm still watching Schitt's Creek and Young Sheldon, because I know we had the conversation about Young Sheldon. I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks off from it, and I started watching it again, and maybe there was a few gem episodes when he gets the video game console. That's a great one. So I'm on a streak of a few good episodes, so it is very much in my interest.
Back in.
Yeah, maybe that little break was quite nice. And then Schitt's Creek, we're in a good place where I think we're on season 3. And for those who have seen it, the interesting love triangle with David and 2 other characters that I won't mention, which is quite amusing. And then I wanted to watch a film over the weekend, and I was going through Netflix, and it was one of those ones I sat down after work one day and loaded Netflix, and do you know, like, something will get suggested to you at random?
Yes.
And it was a scene from a random film I believe came out in 2020 called Villain, which is a British, very grimy, gritty British film about a man who spends 10 years in prison, and he leaves his pub and his belongings to his little brother, who gets a bit into the drug world more so than he would like, and ends up being in a bad position with some loan sharks. And the narrative begins when the older brother gets out of prison, who's a bit of a bruiser, if I'm honest, and still thinks he can throw his weight around 10 years later, and obviously gets faced with a few harsh truths. And it looks cool. It's a very gritty British film. Yeah, it's one of those ones I can't say much about the ending because it will give a lot of things away. But it's a very much a conversation starter. But it's quite a dark film in terms of some of the things it covers. But it's really cool. It was impressive. It definitely piqued my interest. It's very much about the characters and how they develop each one, which is really interesting. And there's a few kind of side stories that the main character goes down in terms of his daughter and his past friendships and stuff like that, which come up, which are really, really interesting. So I watched it just off seeing a scene where the scene that was on Netflix is he's in a bar and he politely asks these 2 mobsters who have been running up quite a tab if they could come up and pay their bill. And obviously it's not met with the best response. And it ends at just at a point where you're like, well, I need to see how that very awkward resolution, that very awkward conversation resolves. And that kind of hooked me in to watch the film. And I'll admit it was one of the better scenes in the film, which is what Netflix do. I completely get it. But I enjoyed the watch, and you won't predict how it ends at all. I don't think, which is
Or
quite
a challenge
impressive.
for the Thomas Twist again.
Yeah,
there. Might
but
have to watch
it's very much something I think you'd see, like, you know, the artist Plan B. If he
Yes.
was still very current, he would be in a film like that. It's one of those. But it was cool. I actually enjoyed it, and it was all because Netflix clearly knew how to advertise. Because I went, oh, this looks all right, and then watched it over the weekend. I'll give it like a 7. I think a 7. But you'll have some interesting feelings at the end of the film. But I can't tell you what they are.
Worth a go.
I think so. If you're prepared to, like, some people want to go home on the weekend and watch like a nice happy film. But if you want a film that's a bit darker and a bit more gritty, you might enjoy it. So that's all I've really been watching because I've been packing to move house. So I've been a busy guy, unfortunately.
Nice.
So, it's not much time for TV and films.
Carolina, over to you. What have you been watching?
So I finished watching Money Heist. So they split the last season in 2, so we got the last few episodes. And I mean, I cried. I've never cried at the end of a show. Like, it's unbelievable. This show is my favorite show. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It's written so beautifully. The characters are just like, the character development is amazing. They've done what you would think is kind of impossible, which is to make like 2 seasons in like the extent of 5 days. Imagine it's so amazing. Have anyone seen?
I've not yet. It's on my list to watch,
Definitely
but
worth
then
it.
it's getting harder now to avoid spoilers.
Yeah,
It's like the longer you leave something like this, it's like I'm gonna find out too much.
It's something that's really floated under the radar for me because I always see it advertised on Netflix, but I've never heard anybody that's seen it. But the fact it's always plastered on Netflix, I've always gone, well, it must be good if it's always out there. So then your comments are quite reflective of how much Netflix are pushing it. So
well,
interesting.
because I don't know if it's because it's Spanish or something. I don't know, because it definitely has gained a lot of attention internationally. But it's a Spanish show. But I don't even know. I have no words. Like, you just have to watch it because it's so unbelievable what they've done. Like, I haven't seen anything like it. But it was very hard to say goodbye. But I'm glad that they ended where they did. It was as unpredictable as it has ever been. So you couldn't have guessed, as always, because it's always like that with Money Heist. And then to heal my heartbreak of having finished Money Heist, I started watching Peaky Blinders, which I know I'm very late to because everyone has seen it and it is worth it, as everyone says. So I just took me a little bit to get involved, like the characters and everything, but then once you're invested in it, it's very good. So worth it. So Peaky Blinders.
Nice. Anything else on the horizon? No, just more Peaky Blinders.
More Peaky Blinders. I mean, everything is it's chaos now. Season 3.
Yeah, I suppose that's the way to watch Peaky Blinders, because I think like I said to you before, I sort of tailed off in season 4, but I think that's because I didn't binge it. And like you say, the characters, because they're typical antagonists, it's really hard to connect with them. I think you get the whole thing of the PTSD and stuff from World War One, so you understand why Shelby's the way he is, and you feel the frustration that he's trapped, a bit like in The Sopranos back in the day, that Tony was trapped. But then it starts to get so chaotic and so insane, and I think binge watching it is probably the answer. And I think if I'd have done that, I might very well go back to it.
I think I'm the same. I watched, we binge watched, this was about 2 or 3 years ago, up to, I believe, season 3 or season 4, whichever was out by that point. And then when you have to wait 6, 9, 12 months, other things become a priority, and it comes out, I'll get round to it. Next thing you know, another season's come out, and you're like, I don't remember where I was, but I know I very much enjoyed it. It's an interesting one, isn't it? But sometimes I think you're quite in a good position because you just get to watch. That was my thing with Game of Thrones. A story for another day, but it's I got to it quite late, and I caught up to it just as it was plateauing and finishing, which was probably the best way to do it.
I mean, I really like characters that they're horrible. They're horrible people, but you can't help but sympathize
and
with
root
them.
for them in the weirdest way.
I know, which is exactly the same.
You can kill him.
Yeah.
You can do it.
It's exactly the same as Money Heist. Like, they're horrible, but you love them. So,
but isn't that that's what's happened with TV now, isn't it? And film. It's like we were talking about John Wick before. Back in the day, John Wick would not have been a hero in a film.
No.
But now, I think the audiences want it more and more. That's sort of everything else has been done, so it's like, right, now let's look at antagonists and look at their lives. And I like that, like developing, that you can be a stereotypical bad person, but you can also you're still a person, you're still a character. I think it's really interesting.
Jane, what about you? What have you been watching?
I've gone so retro. So I don't know if anyone's seen it, but on 4OD they're doing the advent calendar. So every day through December, there's a number and you don't know what's behind it, and you click on it and it's a show that's from their archives.
Amazing.
Including like really random stuff like Junior Bake Off and stuff like that. Just I know, but it's okay, but there's a junior one as well. I know it's bad enough there's another one. So I clicked on it the other day and it was Frasier, which was like literally came out before you guys were born that are listening.
I remember Frasier.
No, I was thinking of our audience.
Oh, the young'uns.
The young'uns. And it's
Frasier.
been really interesting because I've had loads of marking to do, so it's just been on in the background a lot of the time, and then every now and again I've dropped into an episode and I forgot how very, very, very clever it is. It's basically like a farce, so it's always a ridiculous situation, very inappropriate sometimes, would not probably even get through pre-production in this day and age, some of the stuff.
Especially some of the stuff with Frasier's dad.
Yes.
Like that would not work. Yeah.
So I'm up to season 6 at the minute, and it's starting to address those issues about the earlier seasons that are a little bit dodgy. But yeah, it's just ridiculous and funny, and it's about being pompous and up your own backside, and they just get themselves in the most ridiculous situations, and it's very fast. So I've been watching that. But the other thing was the Beatles documentary. Does anyone watch that on Amazon?
No, not yet.
Oh
no.
my gosh. I thought I'd done every Beatles thing there was, but basically Peter Jackson was at Apple Studios asking about something else. They said, we've got 60 hours of footage. Do you want it? And he's like, yep. So he edited into a 9-hour special. Typical Peter Jackson, why do an hour when you can do 9? And he's remastered it, and it is the most moving thing just to see such famous people, like such icons, just be people. And it's just them faffing around, and there's a wonderful bit where Paul McCartney's playing something, I can't remember which tune it is, he's just bashing it out on the piano, and there's a kid there that's clearly a trainee sound engineer that looks like he's going to cry because he's watching Paul McCartney play the piano, and Ringo obviously never has anything to do, so he's just mooching about, faffing around on the cameras. So a lot of the footage was filmed by Ringo, which is lovely. So yeah, it's been really nice to watch something so intimate in a way, and they're just getting ready for a gig. That's all that's happening. But it's just that, and it's just when Yoko started to get on the scene, so John's sort of changing and stuff. Yeah, so if you're into documentaries and you're into music, I would really recommend it because it's really moving and sweet and lovely, and you get to find out about them, really, which we never get to see with famous people. We only get what people tell us, don't we? So I've really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Nice. Now, Jane Thomas.
Yes.
Someone tells me that you like Christmas films.
Really? I didn't know anyone knew about that.
I mean, it's the worst secret kept in the department that Jane Thomas loves Christmas films. So, without further ado, it's time.
I forgot sound effects.
Well, I'm just going to play Christmas List or Santa or all of them at
Please,
once.
everything.
Everything at once.
The elf one.
The elf one. So, let's do a little bit of festive films.
Santa's coming to town. Oh my God! Ho ho ho!
Yeah, I just love that. I just love that bassy. It wasn't even me.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that was you. That was good.
Green Giant.
Nice.
What a reference! But I do have actual nice Christmas themed stuff for the background. Oh. So Jane,
Yes.
what is it about Christmas films that you love so much?
It's quite funny, isn't it? Because I'm kind of a bit of a film snob with everything else. It's the innocence of them, even the ones that aren't necessarily as innocent, because there are some Christmas films that are quite dark. It's that, and it's also, I love, one of my favourite things is the way different filmmakers and writers have tried to explain the magic of Santa for kids. And I think that is the most wonderful thing, that there's this whole almost convention, if you like, of Christmas films, of like, how does it work? And that's joyous. What a lovely thing to be able to take your kids to see, you know, something like that, and help them sort of understand that kind of magic, which I think is lovely. There's everything from Santa invented the Northern Lights and that's what the reindeers ride on, which is just insane and great, to Santa having like a magic key that converts chimneys, to the Santa Claus where if you pick up the card you have to become Santa. You know, there's just so many different versions, so I love that. I love the simple message of like, it's like life can be okay, like there can be nice stuff in the world. And I also love the fact that you get the most amazing ensemble cast that you don't get in any other film, because everyone wants to be in a Christmas film. So you get like megastars like in Christmas films, and I love that. I think that's great.
Now, the bigger question is there a top tier list of Christmas films?
Yes. If you think you'll find there's an article written about this last year.
I believe so.
There we go.
So for those of you who didn't see the article last year, those obviously newer students with us, what would you say would be the top tier of Christmas film?
I think, well, for me, it's... I'll tell you about my system. I'll do it that way. So I
start with the system.
I'll do a system. So I do a Christmas film advent calendar, which used to start on the 1st of December, but now has to start earlier because there's so many. So I really think good British Christmas films, like more recent ones, Get Santa is incredible. It's so good, and it's an amazing cast. It's Jim Broadbent. He's playing Santa, and basically Santa is trying out a new sleigh and it all goes wrong, and then he has to be rescued by a criminal, which is just hilarious, who's played by Timothy Spall's son, and so he's a great actor. And then you've got so many well-known actors in it. I could be all day listing them. You got bits of it set in a prison. There's a bit where Santa gets cornrows. I'm just leaving it at that.
Santa gets cornrows.
He gets some cornrows, and he walks out of a cell to Straight Outta Compton. So it's just brilliant. It's only the British can make a film like that, and it's very funny and it's very sweet. So that's a top tier. Muppets Christmas Carol, obviously. Classic.
Yep.
And then obviously the film that Steve hasn't seen.
Oh no. I didn't. I thought I was about to get away with this. So, just for context, it was one of those ones, right? I'll paint you a picture. I'm the
sad violin.
I'm gonna cop out and point the finger at my parents, who. It was just one of those ones.
Some shade is being thrown, Steve.
We had loads. We watched loads of different Christmas films. You know, Grinch, all that kind of thing. All was there. That's fine.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the ones that just fell under the radar. Maybe my parents didn't like it very much. I'm going there tonight. I will ask them. Why did you never show me Home Alone? And
Home Alone, guys. He's never seen Home Alone.
There you go, Home Alone. But it is one of those films that I know the entire narrative just as I've grown up. It's just one of those ones of you've seen little bits of it, etc., etc. But I've never sat down and watched the entire feature film. I can't hear what you're playing.
I'm playing the X-Files theme.
Nice.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery why you haven't seen it.
It genuinely is. But it's at that thing. I'm at that stage now. I realised about a year ago, I have no problem admitting I haven't seen films, because at the end of the day, I'm in the best position because I get to experience them for the first time.
Very true.
So if you look at it from that aspect, I'm like, well, I shouldn't be embarrassed because I get to go down that like rabbit hole, which is quite good. So I will watch it sometime this Christmas, and I will give feedback on the first pod back. So I'll go from that. But do you think because I know everything, I will be impressed or disappointed?
Yeah, I think because you're a filmmaker, that me and my husband had the debate yesterday of, is it Home Alone 1 or 2, which is the best?
Interesting.
Which is a tricky one, because Home Alone 1 is not as complex a narrative as Home Alone 2. I think the impressive thing is the practical effects are just unbelievable.
So that's what I've done a lot of. I've looked into a lot of that stuff a fair few years ago. Ironically, that's a weird coincidence. Corridor Crew did a video on their practical effects, and they tried to recreate them in VFX and show how they don't look as good.
Yes, which is what's happened with the new one.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that's what I'm always saying to the CTEC kids who are doing the effects at the minute. The effects unit is like practical effects are so much more impactful when they're done properly. So I think as a filmmaker, I think now you're older. Yeah, the story's lovely, and also you're watching Schitt's Creek at the minute, and obviously O'Hara is the mother.
Interesting. Yeah, so I wouldn't have put two and two together. So you've got that nice
little connection as well there.
Also, Macaulay Culkin being young.
And Macaulay Culkin. My God, this kid carries these films. I mean, it is amazing. You know, I mean, we all know the tragic story of what happened to him afterwards, but he carries these films, and he's acting with like Pesci. Like he's acting with an Oscar-winning actor, and he's carrying the film. So there's all of those things. Yeah, I think you will enjoy it. I think you will.
I watched that documentary. I don't know if Katrina last year recommended it on Disney Plus, where they showed you the magic of those films. And Home Alone was one of the documentaries where they said the front of like the actual house, that's the only time they've used that set, and then they had to build all of it in a warehouse and kind of leave it there, and it got cancelled twice and all this kind of stuff. And then they said about Macaulay Culkin like carrying it. So I know all the behind the scenes. I know everything about how it works. I've never just sat and watched the final product.
Yeah, I think as well, crazy. From another side, as a little brother, I think you'll find it interesting from that perspective.
See, I don't know what that means, which is interesting.
Because he has a very interesting relationship with his older brother.
Okay.
And in both films, you sort of feel that his frustration. Like you feel like he's a naughty kid, but you're like, oh, this is so unfair. So you kind of, I think it is brilliantly written, and also made by produced by the Christmas auteur, which is Chris Columbus, who actually has produced and directed more Christmas films than anyone else. So John Hughes directed them, but Chris Columbus was like involved. So Chris Columbus, he might have even wrote the script actually. Chris Columbus, he might have wrote the script. So Chris Columbus wrote the script for Gremlins, which is another amazing Christmas film. That is a dark Christmas film. Batman Returns is a brilliant Christmas film with the Penguin, amazing. But top tier is, of course, It's a Wonderful Life, because it is the most beautiful film that was nearly forgotten. So what happened was, it was a flop when it came out, absolute flop, and then it was going really cheap, so all the TV studios bought it up for next to nothing and just played it at Christmas, and since then it became like the classic Christmas film, which I love because it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful film. And another good one, if you like a monster movie, is Pottersville, which is a very weird little British film. It's on American film. Sorry, it's on Netflix. It's an acquired taste.
Okay.
But it's basically about a guy who pretends to be Bigfoot to get people to come back to their town to bring money in. It's very odd. It's very, very odd. But I personally absolutely love it. So so there's loads. Literally,
you could go for days.
Can we just do this for 3 hours? Yeah.
Here's a question.
Get kicked out of the building.
Here's a question for the group.
Yes,
so
Steve,
you get to suggest one Christmas film.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, which is the one that you would suggest to somebody who you have to imagine has never seen a Christmas film? You know,
such a person.
Such a person who doesn't exist.
Stephen Cale.
Hey, I've seen a lot of Christmas films. I have one to put forward. This is why I'm asking.
What's yours?
Okay.
Let's start with you.
Start with me. Okay. Yeah. So my favourite Christmas film is actually pretty new, and I never given a Christmas film like.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I think it's actually a Netflix original. The animation Klaus. It is one of the most beautiful films is amazing. And when my son arrives, when that happens,
absolutely.
I'm like, that's Christmas, little man. Watch this.
Steve, and I was saying before about the mechanics of how Santa works. That's amazing, what I adore about. I discovered it by accident last year, and it is
same. Yeah.
Oh my God, the animation.
Because again, that was another one from animation software stuff that I have an interest in it, even though I'm terrible at animation, of just how it all works because I can't do it. So I watch all that stuff, and it's all hand animated, which is ridiculous to think about. And then I was like, I recognised that thing last year, so I watched it. And I was like, that's amazing, like perfection.
It's beautiful.
It's so good, it's awesome. So that's
funny and quirky and ardent. It's
so
wonderful.
so good, so good. So that's why I was like, that would be my suggestion. If you that would be I guess maybe that was kind of my thing. Yes, for those who don't know, I'm expecting my first child in February. He's a little boy, which is really exciting. And me and my partner had a discussion of like what Christmas films are we going to show them, etc. For those who know that for those who know that in joke, there's some that we can't. But Klaus is definitely one that I'm like top of the list when he's like, what's the meaning of Christmas? Like, 1 sec. You got an hour and a half? Put this on.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, there you go. What would any of yours be? Any ones that like? Yeah, I already know.
I already know.
Interesting. Okay.
It's my favourite Christmas film, Jingle All the Way. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's December the 1st for me to just get it out of the way.
I love it because there's obviously we love Arnie in Terminator, of course. It's an institution. But then there's Jingle All the Way Arnie. There's Kindergarten Cop Arnie.
It's that era.
Which is Twins Arnie.
Yeah, it's that era.
And it's just like, well, right. I had
for those
to get,
who haven't seen it, how would you describe
I had to get the poster up just for that face. Because I feel that is the... How would I describe Jingle All the Way? You know when you really want that toy at Christmas... and you're on at your parents constantly. I really want a Furby, or I want I don't know,
a Turbo Man,
or I really want this game or something that everyone's got. It's basically the story of this child's dad, played by Lord Arnold, who is then like, "No son, I can't get to the Turbo Man," and then he has to obviously go and get him Turbo Man, and then it's just Arnold's tale of finding Turbo Man,
who is in limited stock.
Yes,
everywhere.
Because it's the most sought after gift that everyone's already bought up. Arnold's not thought ahead about his impossimus. I haven't got the fader up, so that was useless.
Christmas list.
He hasn't thought about his Christmas list, and he's then got to find this Turbo Man. There's a point where he punches elves and Santas.
Oh, the bit with all the dodgy Santas.
Yeah, in the warehouse.
Yeah,
it's just I've never seen a man fly. But you see a man fly from one punch from Arnold, and it's just so dumb because it's funny, because it's dumb, and it's set at Christmas, and it's great. I mean, is there a Christmas message in there? Probably somewhere.
Yeah, get your Christmas shopping done early.
Get your orders done quick.
Yeah.
Shop in like, I don't know, March. But yeah, it's just great fun. It always puts a smile on my face. And for me, that's what a Christmas film should do. Put a smile on your face and make you go, oh, nice. There you go. Jingle all the way. Nice.
Put that cookie down.
Yes, I will indeed get to that chopper too. Carolina, what about you? What's top of your Christmas
films?
This
moment because because like I'm embarrassed to admit that I haven't really watched many Christmas films. Don't kill me.
As we just said,
yeah.
This is a good opportunity to just.
It's your time to learn.
Yeah, there you go.
So I can, because I've watched them when I was a kid, like Disney and whatnot. But there's only 3 Christmas films that I remember. So Nightmare Before Christmas, Home Alone, and Shrek Christmas. If anyone has seen that is a real film.
That's niche. And I don't want to upset you too much, but Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is
more
it
Halloween.
Strictly a Christmas
Somebody
film.
put that on as a poll on their Instagram, and then the rest of their story was they were arguing with people because it was a 50-50 split, and apparently like 200-300 people voted on it. And I was like, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
But sorry, go on.
No, I don't know. I mean, it mentions Christmas, so I'm like, all right. I haven't seen anything else, but I will say, in Portugal, so we celebrate Christmas on the Christmas Eve, and they will always play. This is not a Christmas film, but for me it is because I watch it every year, and it's The Sound of Music.
Oh, see, that is a Christmas film, though. This is it. Because
Is
this is the 3 categories of Christmas films are you ready? According to Thomas, Christmas films set at Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas films with Christmas characters, and Christmas films with a Christmas message. Mm-hmm. And I think The Sound of Music has got a Christmas message because it's about family, it's about faith. It's a Christmas message. So I would argue you could say Sound of Music is a Christmas film.
There you go.
Like I consider Mary Poppins a Christmas film for that reason. So I always watch Mary Poppins at Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
My recommendations, I mean, literally anything, but niche stuff that people might not have seen. There's
Niche festive
I
delights.
don't know if anyone's seen Christmas with the Cranks.
I know of
Yeah,
this,
rings
but
a
I
bell,
don't
though.
think I've seen it.
I look. It's really underrated, and it's an example of the megastar cast being ensemble for a Christmas film. Yeah, so you've got Tim Allen, standard Christmas.
Yes, very Christmas.
You have got Jamie Lee Curtis, goddess.
Let's Google this. Can you Google this while
And you've got
Can you Google it? We
Oh,
can see,
yeah,
see
okay.
and you've got what's his face from Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd.
Aykroyd.
I mean, literally, what a cast. So basically, in the film, their kid goes away away for Christmas. So they're like, right, sod Christmas. We're gonna cancel Christmas and we're gonna save the money and go on a cruise. And the whole community vilify them for cancelling Christmas. And they live on a really Christmassy street, and they have a thing where they all have to put a snowman out called Frosty, and they refuse to do the Frosty, and they're getting like threatening calls. I can't. The kid's someone really famous as well. It might be one of the kids out of Malcolm in the Middle, who plays the character.
Not Frankie himself.
No, it's not Frankie. It's the middle child, I think. I can't remember his name. And they get like death
There he
threats
is.
and stuff. There he is. Yeah.
There he is.
They get like death threats and stuff for not putting Frosty
wow.
up. It's brilliant. It's really funny and really silly.
I've recognised it. I don't think I've seen it.
Well, we can play the trailer on mute. Oh, goodbye Christmas.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah,
There's Tim
and then
Allen, who's not playing
there's
Santa.
bits where Jamie Lee Curtis is on the phone to Tim Allen at work, just like begging him to please let them have Christmas back. It's wonderful.
This trailer in mute is exceptional.
Look at her. Look at the goddess. I absolutely.
Look at that
love
shirt.
it. I know.
Oh,
I know.
Tim Allen
Oh
is
yeah, and
bringing the
Pesci's
fashion.
in it as well. Yeah, it's like how many people can we get? Not Pesci. Oh God, my brain. Cheech and Chong. Cheech. Yeah, Cheech Maran. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. It's written by someone incredible as well. I can't remember. It's wonderful. The bit where he gets his Botox done, just like it's just great. And then at the end, it's got a beautiful, beautiful Christmas message.
Chris Columbus.
Yeah, and it's a Chris Columbus film.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
There he is.
There he is
When,
again.
when he's not exploring the world.
Click on him and find out how many Christmas films he's done. So many Christmas films.
Chris Columbus.
He's done Has anyone seen Christmas Chronicles? The new ones on
I've watched the
Netflix?
first one.
He wrote
apparently,
those.
there's more.
Yeah, there's two. The second one is him and Goldie Hawn. which is lovely.
Gremlins 3?
Yeah.
Announced.
Where?
Yeah, he's involved with that. He did
crikey.
Gremlins and Gremlins 2, I think, which isn't strictly
He's
a
involved
Christmas
in
film.
3 of the Potters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, he's an amazing writer, and a lot of he writes a lot of Christmas films and produces them.
Although he was involved with Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver
Yeah,
Surfer.
but we don't talk about that, do we? It's the film that never existed.
That's before the MCU, luckily.
Yeah, so yeah, I
Such
recommend
different
Christmas
films,
with the Cranks.
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, well,
There's so many.
there's so many Christmas films. Go purging Netflix, Amazon Prime, Sky, whatever you got. Get some Christmas on your box.
We could put a
And
link
then let us
to
know.
the stuff we did last year.
Yes.
We, for the students to look at, because we did like a whole countdown. I can't remember what won. Was it Elf?
Might
I
have been
believe
Elf.
it was.
We did a vote, didn't we?
It'd be in the
Elf won,
archive.
and then I wrote another
Probably
article
Elf.
about
Because Christmas
Elf.
Chronicles was the title. So if you go onto the Google Drive, you'll see the
Yeah,
Christmas
so we did a
Chronicles
vote
edition.
the week before where I did an article on why Christmas films are important, and then we did the vote, and then I did an article on Elf as well, I think.
See if I can track it down real quick.
It's on the TechNet page.
Oh yeah.
There's the archives there. You got it bookmarked. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
But yeah,
I'm Speed. Da-da-da-da.
Live, James using the internet.
I know, isn't it great?
That's thrilling.
2021, 2022 editions.
no, the
other
next,
one's
last year.
next one down.
Find the Christmas Chronicles.
The Chronicles of a Christmas. Where are you?
There's so many editions.
There's so many editions. What would
Or did we make
Yes.
the Christmas Chronicles one during?
what?
Oh no, it might be the Elf one. Look, there's Elf. Oh,
Yeah, we
Yes,
did. We
in the
did
middle.
one on Elf, and then we did one the week before. I
Let's have a
think.
look. Xmas edition. There he is. Right. Elf.
Oh, no,
Much more than Will
that
Ferrell.
was the article from Jane. But there is a top 10. Where is it?
Which that was the week before, because we got them to vote. So we did the week before.
So
We
it's
did
12,
the top
so where's
10.
the 11th?
Where's 11? Da-da-da-da-da. It's fun going back through newsletters. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, Wait, Confessions
Wonderful
of...
Life,
Oh, yeah. So
number one.
That was my confession article.
Yes.
What did I call it?
Confessions of a Christmas Filmaholic, for one word. So we had Die Hard, obviously. Yeah.
They're all on the Christmas
Yeah.
tree as well. All the films that were in these articles, that's why they're all on the Christmas tree.
You've put Home Alone 2 instead of Home Alone, so that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's Home Alone 2 set in New York, though. You can't get more Christmassy than that. Unfortunately, it's spoilt with a Trump cameo.
Oh, yeah, it's that one, isn't
Yeah,
it? Oh,
yeah.
Donald. Always ruining things. But yeah, I think that brings our Christmas special to a very jubilant end.
The
one
last
could
episode
say.
of 2021.
Jingle bells.
Nice.
Batman smells.
Robin, he flew away. Did you know that?
He also laid an egg too.
Is that the Southern Child version?
I don't know. No, it's Jingle
Robin-
Bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Oh, it's Robin flew away. up
Oh,
north.
Why would Robin lay an egg?
I don't know, because it's a robin, it's a bird.
True.
If you just work that out.
I know, I was just thinking about
Carolina's
the
like,
sidekick.
British
What
people
is
are mental.
this? We are very
No
strange.
clue what's going on.
So yes, well, have a really good Christmas and New Year. We'll see you bright and early on Tuesday, the 4th of January, when everyone's back in. Hopefully, have you met your deadlines? Hopefully, you have. But yeah, those will all be in the new year, and we will see you then. Well, have a good Christmas. Have a good New Year. It's goodbye from me.
Bye from me. Oh, you didn't say your name. That really threw me.
Sorry. Goodbye
James,
from
Steve.
Goodbye from me, James.
Goodbye from me, Steve.
Goodbye from me, Carolina.
And goodbye from me, Jane.
And we hope you have a very happy and healthy Christmas and New Year. Bye bye.
Ho, ho, ho.